on your smart speaker.
Where I grew up, where my family have been for 150 years.
You're avid listeners. Thanks a lot. Thanks, ABC.
Breakfast with Kim Napier.
Yeah, good morning. Now, it was this time yesterday that I spoke with Waratah Wynyard Mayor Mary Dunningham, who wants council officers to investigate cat management policies to protect designated habitats of native birds and animals.
The penguin rookeries are moving eastward from Fossil Bluff and from Doctors Rocks, and they are nesting in the bushy areas on the beaches, and I've noticed that the cats are killing the baby penguins, and that's of concern. The cats are also killing bandicoots and attacking the plovers as well. So penguins and the hooded plovers are protected species. We don't want to ban the ownership of cats, but what we want is responsible ownership.
That's Mayor Dunningham speaking on Breakfast yesterday. Now, plenty of you weighed in with texts and hundreds of comments on the ABC Northern Tasmania Facebook page. So we thought we'd continue the conversation this morning amid your interest. Good morning to Jaana Dielenberg, spokesperson for the Biodiversity Council. How are you going?
Good morning. I'm going great, thanks.
In a nutshell, what type of destruction can cats reap?
Well, there's kind of two main impacts that cats have. One is on wildlife, as you've already sort of discussed and talked about yesterday. We can discuss that more, but actually another one that most people aren't very aware of is cats spread 3 different types of diseases in Australia that can only exist here because of cats. They include toxoplasmosis, cat roundworm and cat scratch disease. And although many people who are healthy don't have really significant impacts from them, they actually put 8,500 people in hospital each year, and 550 people die each year. And it can also create sort of mental health issues, believe it or not.
We've had a text from Farmer Bill to say he had toxoplasmosis from cats. I remember his story, and he had some damage from that he still suffers from. So these would only exist, these diseases, because of cats?
Yes, that's right. So if we had no cats in Australia, we wouldn't have these diseases in Australia. In the case of toxoplasmosis, although the parasite can be passed to other animals, like including humans, but also sheep, and it has a big impact on the sheep industry, it has to complete its life cycle in the gut of the cat. So if we really greatly reduce the number of cats we had roaming around, we'd actually reduce the numbers of these diseases as well.
Now, there was a report released last year by the Biodiversity Council, the Invasive Species Council and BirdLife Australia, and it revealed a major escalation in the impacts pet cats are having on native wildlife. What's happened since that report, Jaana?
So in particular, that report looked at the fact that there's been just such a huge growth in the number of pet cats that we have as a society, and that's one of the key issues. Why are we looking at cats much more now than we were 20 years ago? Because we've got just so many more cats. So in many urban areas of Australia, pet cats can occur in densities of up to about 100 cats per square kilometre. So we've actually recently worked with Monash University to conduct a survey of people in the community asking whether or not they would support requiring pet owners to keep their cats contained. And we found that 2/3 of people were supportive, and actually only 8% of people were opposed. So only 1 in 12 people, and then the remaining people said they didn't mind either way. And so we're seeing a big shift in community expectations about cat ownership and what it means, and people not letting their cat have an impact on the environment. And with that, we've seen real growth, particularly in Victoria and the ACT and South Australia, of councils moving to introduce some laws that require people to keep their cats contained to their property.
And that is exactly what the Waratah Wynyard Mayor Mary Dunningham is asking for, to contain your cats. But what practical steps can cat owners take to reduce the impact on wildlife?
So actually, firstly, I'd like to say that one of the most responsible things you can do as a cat owner is to have your cat desexed. Unfortunately, many cats end up in the environment and can become feral cats. And also we have many unwanted pet cats that end up in shelters and get euthanized each year. And that's really very distressing for the people who work in those shelters, as well as it's just so sad to have perfectly healthy animals being put down because there aren't enough owners. So please get your cats desexed. And then keeping your cat at home really is a very effective way that you can help the wildlife around you, as well as reduce rates of those diseases. And talking about those penguins, it's not just the actual act of a cat killing an animal, which is the impact, which is, people might think, well, my cat chases the birds, but it never manages to catch anything. But even just that act of the cats prowling, harassing, stalking, chasing wildlife can have a big impact on them, and they could on those penguin populations. So a study that was monitoring a population of over 100 pairs of fairy terns over in WA found that just one stray cat and one pet cat that kept coming around and stalking and harassing this population of terns that nest on the ground caused the complete breeding failure of that population of terns that year. Because if you're a parent bird and you're spending all your time fleeing away from the cat, you're not spending time feeding, sleeping and caring for your young.
Wow. Thank you for sharing in this conversation, Jaana. It's appreciated.
You're very welcome.
Jaana Dielenberg, she is from the Biodiversity Council. Sobering comments, right? It's 10 to 8 on ABC Northern Tasmania.